Hi everybody, welcome back to Too Cool for Middle School. It is another Sunday night where I'm trying to get my life in order, thinking about the lesson plans that I need to do, and just thinking about our budget for the next week. Hi Jensen. It is the beginning of the month. It's the beginning of October, so I thought I would just look back a little bit at September and kind of see what I can learn from that, and then look ahead to October. So one thing that I just wanted to make very clear is that these are not advice videos. I have no financial advice for you. I am not good with money, so don't do what I do with your money, probably. I just like to hear people who are imperfect with their money and people who are not rich talk about money, especially women, especially young women, and I've been learning a lot from other people online, and so I just thought I would add a little bit to that conversation from a teacher's perspective. This isn't something that I'm going to do every single month, but I thought I would just follow up with the video from last month. I watched a little bit more Jordan Page this month. A lot of people suggested her to me. I've known about her for a long time, but I got a little bit deeper into her channel. One thing that I liked that she talked about was dividing and conquering, and how in a business you don't have more than one person working on one thing. You can each have your own responsibilities so that one person gets those things done, and that's kind of how we deal with our bills and stuff between me and my husband. And so I was like, okay, so that's not crazy. That's why it feels like it works. I also watched Asia Ding's, I think it was her October budget video, and she talked about this kind of money personality quiz that you can take, and I will link her video below, and then you can see the quiz in the link of her video. And it just kind of talks about your money personality, or you get to see what it is by answering some questions. So I'm a total hedonist. I want money in order to spend it. I don't really care about saving a ton of money or even really buying a lot of things. I don't really care about having showy things or anything, but I just want to enjoy my life. So I want my money to be spent on other people. I love to buy gifts for people. I spend a lot of my money on gifts, and I like to, go out to eat and just do things that make life more enjoyable, especially since we work so hard. I want to feel there's some kind of a payoff for that. So you just have to take into account your money personality, and being hedonistic with your money is not always good. It means that I'm generous, and I'm really not all that stressed about money, but I'm definitely not racking up wealth or anything like that. So it's just good to know about myself going forward. And actually this month we did do a lot better. So I want to look at September. So this month wasn't even so much about setting a budget as it was just about tracking my purchases and looking at where my money is going. So I had kind of a loose budget. I mean, I knew what all of my bills were going to be, and I knew how much money I had in wiggle room. So a couple of successes or celebrations. I saved about $700 for my summer account, and I've got all the way until August when I'm going to need that money. So each month I'm going to be putting away at least $500. I made a little bit extra from coaching this month, so I'm putting all my coaching money in that summer fund too. So just to kick off the year with $700 towards my summer savings feels really good. And then my husband and I started a joint account for saving towards putting it towards debt. This isn't really the typical way of paying down debt, but we have just seen ourselves cycle through being really strict with ourselves, but paying on our credit card, little by little each month. And because of the interest rates, and because every so often we'll go back and put something on that credit card, we just end up spinning our wheels. So we thought that for us, what we could try is just save up as much money as we can every 6 months, and then dump it on our debt, and then save a little bit of it as a cushion too. Because it did seem every time we'd get close to paying off a credit card, or put all of our savings towards credit or something, then we would need new tires or have a car repair or something where we needed to dip back into that. So we're trying to just try a different approach, and so far it's working well. We've saved over $6,000, and we're going to put all of that towards our credit card debt. So we are being really intentional about paying off all of our credit card debt and just being completely free from that. Sorry, Jensen keeps interrupting me. I don't think I'm going to have very much time left to talk about this, but what was I saying? Yeah, we're trying to get all of our little debt just paid off first, and we're just doing it in like big chunks. So for me, that's gonna like raise my credit score when we pay things down in big chunks like that. So I think that's gonna work out well. This month I paid off my Macy's card in its entirety. I think I bought like some dresses for a wedding that I sang at like over a year ago, and I put those on my Macy's card. I think I put like a few birthday presents for people on my Macy's card, and I've just been carrying like a $500 balance for over a year maybe. So this month I just paid that all off, and I'm not gonna put anything else on it. It's not like you get a better deal at Macy's when you use your card or anything. Usually like every so often you'll get percentage off, but not really. My Target card, at least I get like the 5% off, so I guess it's kind of worth it to like use that and just pay it off every single month. But I mean, I could do without that one too. So then I also just like tracked all of my spending. Like I just printed out all of my debit card transactions and then went through with different color highlighters. And I have like a section for bills that's probably gonna stay pretty much the same, although it will go down once we get all of our credit paid off, because then we won't have any money going towards credit cards. And after we get our credit cards paid off, by the way, is when we're gonna focus more on our student loan debt. Okay, so I looked at all of my spending. I actually spent more than I thought on groceries, because I feel like I don't go grocery shopping all that much, but I did include in groceries like everything from Target, like diapers and cleaning supplies and anything like that just went into groceries, so it was a little bit higher than I thought. Gas for my car was actually less than I thought, but gas in California has like skyrocketed, so for next month it's probably going to be more expensive than this. I tracked how much I spent on like food, like going out to eat, and it was actually less than I thought as well. I kind of figured like Postmates and stuff would have been higher and then my groceries would have been lower, but it was the opposite. So I need to just look a little bit closer at what I'm doing there. But I think like last month I didn't have all that much money, so I really wasn't eating out as much, and I was like bringing my lunch pretty much every day and stuff. So this is probably a good trend to be on, but maybe I can actually spend a little less on groceries though, and still less on eating out, because still more than I need to be spending. And then I just tracked like my fun money, which I do need to put like a hard limit on. It's just weird because it is stuff that fluctuates every month. So last month we talked about this, but like Legoland tickets and concert tickets. I bought like a phone case. I joined a choir, and there was a fee to join, like a donation that you make. This month I just spent a couple $100s on a new bed for Jensen, so we ordered that. We're really trying to get his little room. He like kind of has a room. It's an area of the apartment. But I've been working on getting that really well situated for him. I built a bookshelf last night. We actually bought it like a year ago, and I finally built it, and like this little easel that he can draw on. So now I ordered the bed. So I'm gonna build him his new like big kid bed and get him some sheets that he likes. The hard thing about his area is that it's closer to the street, so it's loud at night. So he has trouble sleeping, and then he always ends up in our room. So I need to get like a white noise machine, and we used to diffuse like lavender and peppermint or something when he was a baby, and that worked for a long time. He was a really good sleeper for a long time, but now we just need to get his like sleeping situation a little bit more like scheduled, and just make the conditions as good as possible for him to get as much sleep as he can, because he does wake up really tired, and he likes to stay up late with us because he can still hear us like moving around the apartment. So I think if we have like the white noise machine and the essential oils, and he's in a bed that he thinks is fun, then I think that will help him out a lot. So those types of things, it's definitely worth the investment, because that's good for his overall health. The more sleep that he gets, the better for his brain, the better for his immune system, the better for us. We're still working on potty training, so when we accomplish that, Jensen and I are working on that together, then we'll save a little bit of money with diapers and wipes and stuff. So we're definitely in like a transition phase, just into being more of a big kid. So that's taking more of my like attention and stress a little bit right now. Like that's something I'm a little more focused on, you know, something I end up putting more money into and just more attention into. So anyway, that's an October thing. I want to buy spa gift certificates for some family members that helped watch Jensen when Derek and I got to go on vacation over the summer. I didn't have any money to buy them anything then, but now I do, so I want to get them some spa gift certificates. And that will like, you know, pretty much be my extra spending then for the month, is like Jensen's room stuff and some gift cards. I also have a baby shower to go to this month, and so to pay for the babysitter and a gift is usually over like $100 just to go to like a afternoon thing. So that's just like something to keep in mind with kids. Since both of us work and we don't have family around to watch him, then we end up spending, I mean, obviously daycare is a huge chunk of our budget every month, and then also finding babysitters anytime that we need to do something on the weekends. Normally I just watch Jensen on the weekends and my husband is working, so then if I want to do anything, I have to pay for a babysitter. Even like, you know, good things like that are for professional organizations or whatever. Like I had to drop out of a professional conference that I was going to present at for free, you know, because it's going to cost me a lot of money in babysitting just to go do something like that. So there are some things that I just have to say no to. Like if they're for friends and they're to celebrate somebody else and it's an important thing for somebody else, then I will go. But sometimes like if it's just for me, then it's like, this is not worth the money. So for this month, I have my planner set up again. So I have this Erin Condren planner. And it's just the monthly layout, so it doesn't have a daily breakdown, but that's nice because I like seeing the month at a glance. So I have a list for my debt. I have all of that written down. No more Macy's card on there anymore. Have a section for my income, my regular paycheck, and then anything I do on the side. My monthly goal for this month is to pay off the Target card. I keep track of my credit score every month. And then over on this side, I just write down any of that extra spending that I do. And that's more just for me to like look at throughout the month, because sometimes I might forget like, oh yeah, I had to spend a couple $100 on Jensen's bed and I bought a couple of gifts. And so like those things might not register as like, you know, stuff that I've bought since it's not mine. But then when I'm thinking about like getting a pair of jeans or something, then I'm looking, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I already spent my money for this month. I actually always try to do a no spend November as well, where I don't buy any clothes or makeup or any house things or just anything extra, any books. And it is tough because you're going into December. I think one thing I do allow myself to buy during no spend November is like Christmas presents, because I don't want that all to fall in the December budget. But besides that, nothing. So we will try that next month, a no spend November. Oh, I think I forgot to mention my Amazon category. Did I forget to say that? Amazon was about what I thought, because I buy books for my classroom and books for myself and little things for the house quite a bit. So I've got to have just like an Amazon limit. I'm still researching different ways to pay off student loans or like get some kind of a consolidation or some kind of like a refinancing deal. And I'm thinking that that will go better for me once my credit score is a little bit higher and I have less debt. So like at the moment, I'm just not attacking my student loan debt because there are no good options. Like that is the lesson that I've learned over the past couple years. Like the public service loan forgiveness thing just screws people over left and right. The income-based thing is not helpful for us. I've already looked into all my options for like the Title I forgiveness, and just nothing is gonna be beneficial for me. There just isn't a smart way to do it. So I just have to put myself in the best position to do some kind of like a refinance deal on my loans. And so we just need to get out of our littler debt, like the credit card debt and stuff, and just get our credit scores as high as they can possibly be, put some money into savings, and then we'll worry about the credit card debt. So again, it just doesn't run my life. I'm not gonna not buy avocado toast because I went to college. I'm not gonna never shop for clothes ever because I went to college. Like that just, there's just some kind of a block in my mind where I'm like, nope, I don't care. The government benefited from my education. There's a reason that they provide loan options for people, because unless you are rich, you can't go to college. You have to take out loans. We talked about this in my how I acquired student loan video. There's no way to go to college unless you're rich without taking out loans. My husband and I always joke about how the government requires you to have a degree for so many government positions, but even state schools are too expensive to pay for just, you know, by like working a summer job or something. So you have to borrow money from the government in order to work for the government. And then like in our jobs in particular, you have to buy your raise. If you want to get a raise, you have to go back to school and add more units. And a lot of times people are in a tricky situation because they work full time because they're a teacher. So I actually didn't do this, but most people pay for pretty expensive like private online master's degrees because it'll like work around your schedule, but then you get even more deeply in debt in order to get a raise. But we're doing necessary jobs. Like as a society, we need people to get qualified to become teachers. Like that's the idea of having student loans as a like service from the government. Like they, as a society, we want people to go to college and become knowledgeable and qualified to do things like become teachers or engineers or like build rockets and go to the moon and beat Russia. Like that's, you know, why these types of programs started. But they used to be structured so differently, and now the government has taken over all of these private loans, and now it's a frickin' scam. And they are just making money off of the billions upon billions upon billions of dollars that Americans owe to student loan companies who are the government. So anyway, I know that doesn't change the fact that I have a ton of student loan debt, and I took out the loans and I need to pay them back, and they are just acquiring interest at an astronomical rate, and I have a huge monthly bill, and I just don't think it's right. So yeah, I hate it so much that I don't allow it to interfere with my life. And I know this is not reasonable, but maybe in the future, because so many of us have these crippling student loans, it will be worthwhile for the government itself to restructure how some of that is done, because there are millions of us who can't afford to set aside money to save for a home. It decreases our spending just as a whole, and people of all ages have these student loans. There were parents that took out student loans, people my age, people younger. This is just bad for our economy in general. So I know that I'm just one of many people who are in this position, and talked about this in the last video, but it's not because I'm irresponsible. It's not because I'm dumb. This is just the situation that most Americans are in, and it's really not fair. So we will tackle that once we are free from our other debt. So we are on like a debt-free journey, and it really seems very doable. We're just kind of setting our sights on the stuff that we have a little bit more control over. We have way less control over the student loan stuff, and there are just people that tell you all different things about the different programs you can do, and then they get to the end of it after 10 years and it was all a big lie, and you forgot one number on your application, and they're looking for any reason not to give you the benefits of that program. So we know that nobody out there is on our side. No one is looking to help us out. No one is looking to help you out of your student loans. Nobody. They're looking to make money off of you because we are getting desperate. So just keeping that in mind, we are doing the best we can on our teacher salaries. We are fine, but we are just trying to be more intentional about saving and doing extra work, and then making that money really work for us and put us in a better position. And I'm cool with that. In the meantime, I'm really good at like, you know, finding codes for things that I like shoes or makeup or jewelry or whatever. And then so most of the things that like I get new, I just use through like credits that I get from companies. So like my planner, I always get these for free with credits, and like my teaching shoes, I always get those for free. So, you know, I find ways to save money on some of those more fun things and still get to enjoy them without having to take money away from somewhere else in our budget. So this month felt good. I hope that we continue to make progress next month, and I'll keep you updated about No Spend November. And then December is Dresscember, and that doesn't have a whole lot to do with my budget, but I do try to raise money to help combat human trafficking, and so that's always what December is dedicated to. So we will talk about that as we go. Anyway, the boys went outside to play t-ball, so let me go see what they're doing before we lose all of the light. Like the sun is about to set. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is not advice. This is just commiseration time. Budgeting is hard. Trying to make your money work for you is hard. We're all learning together. I'm not an expert, but I'm trying to do better and hopefully share some of that along the way. So hope you have a great week. I will see you in my next video. Bye.